store. I love playing through it, and I also use it live. My name is Neville. I'm at Arizona Music Pro in Flagstaff, Arizona. This is a MOSFET bass amp. And because it is MOSFET, it runs high efficiency, fast rate, high power. The amplifier will capably do at least 800 watts at 1.8 ohms. It's rated at 720 at 2, but the main thing about this amplifier, because it's silver soldered, there is no plastic in the rig at all whatsoever. It's all metal chassis, aluminum knobs. The main thing that's really interesting about this rig, the first thing that comes to mind, is the linear taper pot as opposed to an audio taper pot. A linear taper pot works without the logarithm, basically, the way an audio taper pot does. So when an audio taper pot is at 9 o'clock, you're getting close to the threshold. At 11 o'clock, you're almost maxing out on an audio taper pot. On this one, you can run it to 0, and it is notched to 0, and you can run it forward. And this is just your input level gain of the instrument that you're playing through. So you're not going to hear an audible difference like you would with an audio taper pot. The linear taper pot works. And the reason why this is working this way is because he's got it set up so that you can see the wattage that on the power output section that's actually being used. 25 watts. And still maintaining about a 90 decibel sound. The features on this amplifier are extensive. There's a headphone output, effects center return, also a volume pedal input, which is awesome. Dedicated line out, which I'll get to in just a second. The graphic EQ is dedicated in and out. In other words, what I mean by dedicated, this is true dedication. In other words, if you pull 40 hertz out, you're pulling 40 hertz out. If you bump 40 hertz, you're bringing 40 hertz in. And it doesn't affect any other of the line of graphics. Also the parametric EQ, if you want to lock in a sound that you want for a particular room, and or the sound of the bass, depending on what bass you're using, of course, you have a dedicated parametric that you can also switch in and out. Another really great feature is you have a compression limiter that operates. It starts at 0. You can kick it on, no compression, and you can bring the compression in. It works just the opposite. It's English, which is awesome. All right, now I just have it set at about noon, probably about 4 to 1. The other overall feature, I don't want to get into too extensive, but one of the main questions that's always asked me is the speakers. The speakers are awesome. They're 5-inch speakers. And because there's 6 in this cabinet, also 6 in the suitcase, but in this particular cabinet, the way this is designed, this cabinet will go down to 30 cycles. Okay, 30 cycles is a low B, and the low B sounds great. As you can tell over the internet. Reproduces a low B, and Phil Jones is known for his huge 24 and 16 5-inch cabinets, especially the horn-loaded cabinets, which will go down to 17 and a half cycles, which is totally unbelievable. Totally felt. Low C sharp, so almost a full octave below the low B on a 5-string bass, which is really amazing. And how this works is you've got a 5-inch speaker that the magnet mass is as big as the actual speaker. size. And each speaker has its own loaded horn within a horn-loaded cabinet. And so each cabinet, everything works in conjunction with each other mathematically. There's no lag time, virtually no lag time in the speakers at all. So you get a real crisp, tight punch every time that you're playing, and it cuts through faster because it's moving less mass. So they call them the piranhas because a school of piranhas is just as lethal as a shark or a whale. And because they work in conjunction with each other, there's less heat to cause fatigue and lag time in the speaker. So the speaker doesn't change as you play for 3 or 4 hours, which makes it very, very, very efficient, and the sound is awesome. The head, going back to the head again, because there's such a low noise, you could run this on your stereo. You can record off of it, virtually no noise at all. The head is designed for that purpose. There's a high output line out on it with the ground. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the other features on this that I'm missing. Overall, it's probably one of the best pieces available to any bass player that aspires to have something that lasts a lifetime and also just totally roadworthy, just built like a tank. And it's heavy. It is a transformer. It's a very heavy head, but believe me, it sounds like one. It sounds like a tank. So that's just going to be my basic little introduction to this, and we'll go through it in more depth as we go down the road.